Okay, so that lecture, John, the Crown of Scripture, I'm very glad that Neville mentioned there how he understands the symbolism of John. You know, the what that symbol boils down to, which is love. And John was the brother of James, and James is the judge. And they are brothers to remind us that we are supposed to judge others through the eyes of love. And by doing that, we then know that Christ is alive in us. And I'm also keeping on the stream, you'll see in a little bit, I'm going to keep the little pig down in the bottom. And Are You Feeding Your Pig? As a little reminder for anyone who knows the pig symbolism, which we discussed in the lecture on Thursday. The pig is the symbol of Christ. So when you're feeding your pig, you're imagining lovely things for other people. You're thinking lovely thoughts about your world. That's when you are awakening and you're revising every day. That's how you awaken this Spirit of Christ in you. Another interesting thing that Neville pointed out in that lecture just now, because he was talking about the promise when he was talking about grace, which are given through grace. Um, in other words, there's no actions you need to take. There's no moral stance you need to stand firm in. You don't earn the promise. You receive it automatically by the design that you laid out for yourself to experience. Now, Neville said something very interesting there when he talked about whoever has seen, and that Greek word "see" is equivalent to know. So when whoever has seen the Father knows me. So whenever you are, or whenever has seen the Son, knows the Father. So whenever you are manifesting something in your life, when you imagine it, and then it happens, that is Christ being resurrected in your world. So that is actually seeing and knowing the Father on this level of experience. Now, when Neville talks about the promise, he's talking about a different level of experience where you're closer to your original identity and experiencing it in a different, much more truly alive form. Here, because everything is dead, you're sort of seeing a shadow of it. You're seeing a glimpse of it. However, keep in mind, whenever you manifest something, you are witnessing God the Father, who is your true self, in action. And another thing I would like to remind people is that, so I do encourage you to tell people in your life how to manifest. And you can put it in whatever terminology you like. You can omit all of the references to biblical figures. You can certainly do that. But keep in mind, no matter how you present it to people, they're not always going to be in a state where they're ready to try it, or where they're interested or receptive to whatever you're telling them. And certainly, if it's an a-religious person, it's probably not useful to start talking about Jesus Christ. And that is okay. That is the state they're in. The plan is unfolding in them. You know, that you may be part of it, you may not be part of their unfolding, and it's okay. You don't never try to convince people. I like this. The thing I was thinking today is like when it comes to this stream, I'm mostly interested in finding other people who've already been applying the law, who've already read a lot of Neville, and so that we can create a space together to further explore the lectures we haven't read yet or whatever. But also, when it comes to someone who doesn't know the law, who finds this stream, or who only knows a little bit about Neville and is just kind of dabbling into it, I never have the intention of trying to convince you of anything. Like I'm not putting forth an argument. I'm not here to make a claim. I'm here to tell you what Neville said, to give my personal interpretation of it, because I have assumed for majority of my life that I'm really good at analysis, especially when it comes to symbolism. So I'm here to break down and contemporize his language for a modern audience. But I'm not really trying to convince you. I honestly don't care if you believe Neville or not. I'm not creating a platform to convince anybody. However, I would very much, I am trying to get people to try it. Like if they have not, and to just examine their thoughts and to really question and experiment. So if someone finds this at some point, or wants to bring this up as a point of reference later down the line, if you have never really heard of Neville before, like you're not gonna, as Neville used to say in all his lectures, it doesn't cost you any money. You're not losing anything by simply imagining you have what you want already. If anything, you're going to have a tremendous gain as a result. So what is really being harmed in you just trying it? Just testing the law and seeing how it works for you, how rapidly it works, what your unfolding is like, and really just to identify the present state of mind with which you're identified, because I think most people who find Neville are, you're ready for it. That's the reason why it's being presented to you. But like my friend Daphne, who has been on the stream now twice, like her experience was Neville was presented to her many times before she started seriously testing. And when she tested, she really approached it from a state of being bold and going all out and seeing, well, how far does this go? How far can I push this? Let me really test this. I want real confirmation here. And if that's the state you're in, that's normal. That's totally, I think, common for when people find Neville's teachings or someone who's similar to Neville. And the other state that you might be primarily identified with when you find Neville is a victim mentality. Just naturally you're going to be limited to thinking of yourself as your current identity, your current circumstances, and fairly limited in terms of the possibilities for your life. And you're going to have a mindset about how reality operates that's totally different to what Neville is telling you about how reality operates. And that is also totally fine, totally normal. If you have discovered Neville at a point of pain in your life, when the seeming or apparent lack of something is causing you an extreme amount of distress, and you guys just be in one thing in your life, could be a bunch of things, that's not unusual. That's very common. That's very much on purpose. I believe it's very much part of the pattern itself. And really, truly, you have to understand that this is not me, some guy on the internet telling you this. This is not Neville, some guy who died in the 70s telling you this. This is you giving yourself your own message at a time when you need it and you want it and you're ready to hear it. So if you're one of those people that's ready to hear it, you've been testing, you're ready to keep going, great. I hope you listen to the rest of this lecture and other lectures that I have posted up here on Twitch and on YouTube, and you tune in the future. Now, if you're someone who's new to this and you somehow found this video or came across it as a reference point later, and you really don't know what the hell I'm talking about, that's totally fine too. And you can stop. You can just click off of this video right now. I'm not at all wounded by that. That's totally fine. Because when the time is right for you to start testing the law, whether it's me or 1 million other people or some other kind of circumstance that brings this back to you, that's always you bringing it up to you. You telling yourself to test these things. And like I said, when you try to bring this up to someone else in your life and they're so resistant that they're not even willing to test, let them go their way. Don't keep poking and prodding them. When the time is right for them, the time will be right for them. And maybe you'll be part of their unfolding, maybe you won't. However, don't let that fear that the person might not want to try, or in some way be a little bit rude towards you as a result of what you're telling them. Don't let that possibility prevent you from telling other people, because I have so far been very surprised, pleasantly surprised, by people that I consciously, as far as I know, assumed would not be open to this, would think I'm crazy for believing this, but who then went on to test it and had experiences as a result. And I mean, Campbell, who does the music for this channel, is one of them. Because I was hesitant to even say what this stream was about, but I was like, if he's doing music for me, that's the point of the stream. Like, it's gonna have, I can't keep that a secret. I have to disclose to a collaborator what I'm doing here, and then really as part of me recognizing, well, he is my own self, So the only reason I would even want to ask him for the music is because, on some level, the deeper one within me knows he's ready for this message, and he was. So you can be so pleasantly surprised by the people you tell about the law and the things that they're able to do with it so rapidly. You will, and that is such fun to delight yourself in that specific way. In my first interview with Daphne, she talked a lot about that, because she's had the same experiences, and she's come to a point of openness about the law and Neville's teachings that is really admirable and impressive in a very short amount of time, and that will at some point happen to you. And don't be afraid to tell other people once you reach that point. Okay, that's my rant for today. I actually didn't think I was going to do a rant, but hey, sometimes they just coming out. All right, so let's scoot over to the reading.